Okay, colleagues, I hope everyone is hear me. So here today we are on the webinar. My name is Ivan Nevzorov. I'm an international lawyer from SBSB FinTech Lawyers. And we as a company, we practice in the field of gambling, in the field of crypto, Forex, and other investments, FinTech. And we are here to talk more about gambling. We are here more to talk about the launch of gambling project. We are here to talk more about how the process looks from the gambling operator side. So if we are talking about idea, why do we organize this webinar? So the idea came for us from our clients, yeah, because sometimes clients, they come to us and ask how to launch the gambling business, what is necessary for us to launch the gambling business, and they think that the license is the only thing that they needed. They think that they get license, incorporate a company, that's all. They can build their gambling project. But that's not all. That's totally not enough to launch a successful business, to launch a successful gambling project. So we are here to go deeply in this matter, to tell more, to talk more about what else is needed to organize. We also will talk about the latest trends in gambling industry. So every one of us know about Curacao legislation changes. We are in the gambling, we are living in an interesting time because for now the whole industry of international gaming is changing. We are living in the time when the local regulation is become more and more popular. For example, a few years ago, no one haven't thought that Brazil or Argentina, they will have a local regulation. Now it's not like coincidence. It's the thing that will be in the nearest time. So how the operator should prepare for it, how they can change their marketing strategy, they can change their project strategy for developing, for looking for software development. So now we're here with our speakers from, first of all, it's platform and software side and operator side. How does it look? Because without software, without games, you cannot provide a business, you cannot do a business. The second one will be legal side, because we will talk more about the legal trends like white label. What is it? How does it work? Why is it a good solution for now? And what is local regulation? What is an alternative for Curacao for now? Why is Anjouan so popular now? And the next stage will be for our next speaker about payments. You will talk from the bank side. Yeah, what is necessary for KYC and AML regulation and how to comply with it. What should business do to be compliant and not to lose its bank account, not to be blocked, and to have fluent payments flow. And next speaker will talk more about payment processing, about payment gateway, about how to process payments in different regions, because each regions have their own particularities. So we need to discuss it all. We need to discuss how better to organize its payment flow. And we will talk about it on this webinar. And last speaker, but not least, we will talk about marketing, because marketing is very important in the gambling industry. And we'll talk about how many budget need to obtain a successful, to have a successful gambling project, to launch a business, a successful project. We will talk about marketing strategies. We'll talk about marketing channels. It's very, very important. So the first speaker is Alessia, and she is a business development executive at Eventbet Gaming, and she will talk more about for software side, about platform side, about what decisions should be made before going to the market research, how to evaluate platform provider, how to choose the right platform provider, and some insights from software providers. So Alessia, it's your time. Please.
Thank you.
We'll be glad to hear you.
Yes, thank you very much for the introduction, Ivan. I'm privileged today to start this webinar. Thank you very much for your invitation. So my name is Alessia, and I'm a business development executive at B2B. I have been in business development for years. So my first job in business development was not related to the digital sphere. I was a business development manager in the Chamber of Commerce, trying to develop local businesses, state and governmental companies. But with time, I realized that my time was not that efficient because I had to focus my efforts on many companies, and I decided that it was wiser probably to work for one company and to dedicate all my energy to the development of this particular business. So I decided to stay in the same role, but just to change the sphere. And I entered a software development company in the beginning as a lead generator. So in a simple role, and then I grew to a salesperson and finally to a team lead. So I worked for several software development companies, and as a business development manager, obviously I had to work with partners, with clients to maintain relations, to find ways to improve our relations, and to find ways to find projects for these companies. I also worked for a product company in the sphere of video analytics. It was mostly for the security needs. And last year I entered the gaming world. So now I work for IGaming as a business development executive. In my current role, I'm responsible for the commercial side of questions. Once again, I'm responsible for the communication with customers, for new introductions, and for the product as well. So here I am to speak today about how to choose the platform provider, what points to take into consideration, and maybe something else. Right, so license is not enough as Ivan has mentioned, so that is totally true. It's of course very important. Regulation is very important, but it's not enough to make sure your business is going to be successful. So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about IGaming and what we do there. So it's a B2B company that has two products. On the one hand, it's a poker provider. So the company has been developing its own poker for 20 years, and now we can boast a solid product, which has a lot of good features and very, very competitive on the market. As you probably know, you can't play poker alone, so you need absolutely other players to play with or to play against. And for this reason, we decided to make sure players. We decided to create two poker networks for different geographies, one for Latin America called Lat Poker, and another poker network for the rest of the world, but mostly European Union and Asia, called WePlay. So that's one project and one product that we have, and the other product that we have is our platform. So that's why today I was invited here to speak. So before you choose the platform, before you go and speak to the providers that are on the market, you have to make internal decisions, because platform it's well, mostly more than half of the success of your business, I would say. But first of all, you need to understand your requirements to it and your business goals. So you have to understand what kind of target you're going to work with, what kind of geographies you're going to work with, because obviously that's going to influence once again the licenses and certificates that you will need to obtain. Depending on the geography, you will also have to make the right choice of games, which is not easy. So you'll have to pay attention to the quality of games and also understand what kind of games you would like to have, traditional games or maybe some innovative games related to immersive virtual reality or something else. And of course, you will have to understand your long-term goals. Are you going to expand somewhere else in the future? How big your business project is going to be? Because all this will influence your requirements to the platform provider as well. So maybe some specific features that you will need for your site, such as live casino games or something else. So once you've decided on this, you can go and speak to the providers that are on the market. But obviously, well, as in with any activity, when you have to choose, what I usually do in my life is I just make a list of things that are important to me, and then I make a comparison of these critical points. Right. So here I would advise to choose the following points. So the first one is technical capabilities. So the platform should be scalable. You should be sure that you will be able to expand your business in the future in case the things go well, and that's why we work, right? So that's why we build our business. So without ambition, that would be not very usual to begin a business. And technical documentation as well. So once again, so you'll have to ask your providers for the technical documentation, look through it. It should be well structured, clear, understandable, and the team should be able to understand it and to answer all of your questions. So here in this case, I might say that at Gaming, we have very good technical documentation. I'm always feel very confident and quiet, if I may say so, calm when I send it, because I never get any questions back. It's so detailed and well written that yes, it's a very good advantage when you have it. So the availability of the team during your communication, because the communication is obviously important in the future, going to work with these people, and you should be comfortable talking with them, and the information should be provided timely and answer all your questions. More than that, there should also be present different engineers to be able to explain technical questions. So you're not going to speak to one person only in this company. So make sure they engage several resources on their side. Obviously, it should be compatible with different devices. Today's world is very, very exigent, I would say. So please make sure that they're compatible with all the necessary devices. So in terms of payments, there will be later explained in details, I guess, the subject, but obviously, depending on your geography and once again on your targets, make sure that the platform has the necessary payment gateways, or they're ready to integrate the new ones, because it's never enough. So at Gaming, we have 120 payment options at the moment, and we are still integrating. So it's like a never-ending process. There is always something new on the market. Then the security. So they should have the robust security. And by this, I mean the ability to detect different fraudulent activities, and in some cases, even prevent this fraudulent or predict this fraudulent behavior, suspicious behavior, thanks to different advanced technologies or machine learning, and some other gifts that the technologies today offer to us. Reporting and analytics is also very important here. Also marketing. Once again, there will be a speaker talking about that. So marketing is also like part of a player engagement instrument, which is very important, obviously. So the more distractions they have, the more promos, the more bonuses, the more engagement elements they have, the longer they will stay playing. So the better retention rate you will have on your side in the future. So, and responsible gaming probably as well. So or very, very evident answer while choosing something, not necessarily a platform, but any specialist, is actually reviews and reputation, right? So just go through the case studies, make sure it's a reliable company. And well, obviously, maybe you have someone who already works with them. Licenses and compliance. So that's a hard topic, to be honest. Since I joined this industry on the last year, I'm still discovering it because it's not as easy as it may seem. And every region has their certain regulation. Like last month, I was in Estonia for an event, and they were also speaking about regulation in the Baltic region, and that's totally different from the rest of the world. Very complicated. So once again, as Ivan told, Brasilia is going to establish regulations, and next year we are expecting some changes in this destination. Argentina is the same. So just make sure that they have licenses and certificates, especially for your geographies. And that's one thing. And also a good sign is when they have the licenses from the biggest players on the market, so such as the Malta Gaming Authority, UK Gambling Commission, so just the big names. Obviously, if they have it, then someone you can trust to.
Alessia,
yes.
thank you for speech. Sorry, we are quite limited by time, but we have also a few questions from the audience.
Sure.
So let me ask you. First question is about gaming aggregator and game providers. Could you tell the difference, and when always from my side, always clients asking me, why should we go to a game aggregator? Why not we should go directly to game provider and onboard with them? What is the difference, and how better to do for the gaming operator in this field?
Yes. Yes, well, thank you for the question. Actually, there is no answer in terms of better or worse here, because we need both of them, right? Providers and aggregators, since they exist on the market, otherwise they would not be existent. So we also, as a platform, cooperate with a lot of providers. So generally, these are the companies that make games. So in our casino section at the moment, we have more than 200 providers. And obviously the list is still growing. So we absolutely need those who make games, who produce games, to integrate them into our platform, to make the choice richer and larger. So in this case, I may say that we are also an aggregator, because we also aggregate games. So it depends on your goals. Once again, if you're very limited in geography, you're going only for one country, and you only have a limited list of games, then of course one game provider will be enough for you. But if you're looking, or if you already have something and you want to expand, and you need a large choice, then obviously you will go to an aggregator who has already done the job for you, let's say. Right? So you don't need to invest your efforts and waste your time, or invest your time, depends on the angle from which you see it.
Okay, thank you, Alessia. And one more question about from our audience is about white label. What is white label, and is it useful for operator to use it before getting a license, or how does it work? Could you explain?
Yes, so once again, it depends on the goals, right? So as I like to say, there is no right decision. Once you make the decision, just think it's right, and just accept it and live with it. So I would say white label is a good solution, in my opinion. That's a very personal opinion, because obviously you're going to promote your name and your company, and that's an advantage, in my opinion.
Okay. Thank you, Alessia. So
thank you too.
Let me introduce second speaker. It's Roman. It's my colleague from SBSB FinTech Lawyers. So now we always called when clients refer to us, they are looking for lawyers, but they are always finding not only lawyers, they are finding friends, they are finding business advisor, business development officers. So Roman can tell more about legal side of the gambling project. Roman, your follow.
Yeah. Hello to everyone. Thank you, Ivan. So let me now speak more about the legal part of the projects. Very interesting speech from Alessia regarding software and platform part. But when you actually have your software, website, games, you should think out about legal implementation of your product, and you should do that correctly. So at SBSB, we are providing extensive legal support. We, with our team, researching the market day by day, year by year. And generally, I'm here to tell you about what are trends, what are new solutions, what are actual solutions on the market, why the Curacao for now is a little bit not actual, and what are alternatives of for the Curacao to implement your iGaming startup. So here we have key questions which I would like to present to you. That's direction of the gambling industry, in which direction we are moving on. New regulation of Curacao, and why the Curacao for now is so not recommended jurisdiction for implementation of your iGaming startup, especially when you have a little investments for your future project. Alternatives for Curacao for sure, what are actual solutions on the market, and what we can recommend to you to integrate your iGaming project in the terms of jurisdictions. For sure, advantages and disadvantages of international iGaming solutions, and trends of iGaming regulation for the current year, and I'm sure that for the years. So generally, when you will ask me where we are going, it's just a simple question. The requirements to obtain the fully new license are tightening year by year. So when, for example, you planned to obtain an iGaming license a few years ago, it was much more simpler and cheaper than now, because amount of operators and online casinos is rising, and that's why it is very hard to regulate them. For this purpose, regulators in all countries have launched their more strict rules to regulate this industry more simpler for them. Because when you have not a lot of projects, for sure scamming, because when there is something cheap, it is like the hub for scams. For sure, this was the purpose of a lot of countries to make the regulations stricter. And generally, what is trend is moving from international iGaming solutions to local iGaming solutions. When, for example, you try to target some local market, especially in the European Union or some other strict regulated country like the US, for example, you should think out about obtaining of local licenses, because working in these countries with such solutions as Curacao and other like Kahnawake, Malta, it's a bit difficult in terms of advertising, in terms of contacting with local regulators, providing your services to like residents of these countries, and so on. And for sure, increasing taxes, because each country would like to earn more from the earnings of online operators, because it's like a very expensive industry where there are where accumulated a lot of money. That's why countries also would like to earn some income from operations of operators which are licensed in their countries. Just a short and interesting fact for you. from YeldSec, it's consulting company. Global revenue from illegal gambling in 2023 reached 740 billion US dollars. For your information, it's double more than in the previous year in 2022. What is the fact about? It's about increasing of number offshore gambling operators which are planning to target local markets and which are working in these markets without local licenses. So these facts are those which helps us to highlight how legally correct obtain a license and where you definitely can work with this type of license. Some words regarding Curacao. I have highlighted this jurisdiction because a lot of our clients and potential clients are interested by this type of country, because more than 70% of all online casinos, bookmaking companies, poker rooms are working with this license. This type of jurisdiction is working from 1996. Yeah, and everyone who know gambling industry know about Curacao. But in previous year, they issued the new pre-regulation rules, which will require all operators which are working under Curacao sub-licenses obtain the new type of license, which will be much more expensive, much more strict. And for now, if you will ask me whether you can obtain a license in Curacao, I say to you 50-50, yeah, because for now, current regulation is also actual, because master license holders, which issue sub-licenses to operators, are still working, some of them, not all, but some of them. And from the other perspective, there is a fully new regulator called the Gaming Control Board, which tries to regulate online gambling industry in Curacao. But he didn't expect the great number of applications, and for now they closed temporarily their application, the possibility to apply for this type of license. Yeah, and that's why we have with our clients now fewer applications in this new regulator, but no moves from regulator. So that's why we can't recommend you this type of jurisdiction for now, because we have some 50-50 matter. Yeah, you know, that's why you can obtain the license for now in master license holder, and in few days or few months it can be not actual general. So, and what instead of Curacao, where to obtain a license? I have prepared for you top-notch jurisdictions which you can consider to launch your iGaming product. The first one is Anjouan, which is situated in Comoros Island. It was unknown player few years ago, but when the new regulations have started in Curacao, it starts to be more and more famous on the market, and now we see that both software providers and payment providers are working with this type of jurisdiction, like with Curacao. Yeah, this is the cheapest solution for now. You can obtain a license. So if you will ask me why, whether there are some differences between Anjouan and Curacao, I say to you, no, in terms of regulation, in terms of process of application, but Anjouan even is much more better in terms of bunch of possible solutions. Anjouan have a great point that is offering white label solution. What is generally white label in terms of legal perspective? You can obtain a license and to provide it under white label scheme. That means that some other operators can, without even incorporation of companies, obtaining of licenses, set their domain under your license. And in such a case, a lot of companies, a lot of operators can work under one license. In Curacao, it was illegal great years, a great amount of years, yeah. But we know that a lot of operators were working under the Curacao. It is illegal. Yeah, it is fully illegal when your regulator, for example, noticed that you are working with Curacao license and providing such types of activities of services, they could suspend or terminate your license. With Anjouan, you do not have such risks. That's why it's a great solution when you are having few investments, can stand or can put your domain under the license of some other online casino or betting room, which providing the license under the white label scheme. It's a great way to start your project, to try out your domain, to try out your business, and then in few years or even in few months to obtain your own license. That is why Anjouan is one of the most interesting solutions on the market. The second one is Tobiq, is a new unknown player on the scene. It has appeared in I think in March or April. Yeah, we with team have researched this new jurisdiction, but it's quite unknown, and for now we have only two operators which are working under this type of license. It's like well-known operators, but for now, due to the lack of practice, it is very risky to go to Tobiq and to create your gambling project there. Kahnawake, also alternative for Curacao, for Anjouan even, but it is not a cheap one. It's great. It has great number of requirements. For example, you should have a local hosting. You should pay $40,000 to the regulator. And what we see on our practice, that application process is very, very, very slow. So that is great solution to diversify your risks. For example, when you have Anjouan or Curacao, and then you would like to obtain a Kahnawake license, it's like good, but not for startups. Yeah. Isle of Man and Malta.
Hey, Roman, let
Yeah.
me interrupt you because we have limited time. So can you maybe sum up and tell our visitors what is the cheapest solution and the most economic one for opening a gambling project and to launch it as quickly as it can possible? Is it possible?
Sure, yeah. Here you have few options, and it depends on aims and goals of each gambling project. Yeah. For example, if you would like to have your own license, for sure, it's Anjouan, because as I mentioned, for now, Anjouan provides the most competitive pricing policy, extensive application process, extensive and easy application process. Yeah. But let's say if even Anjouan is expensive for the project and the project would like just to try out and then to obtain their own license, white label solutions, it's a top-notch like matter point, which is very interesting for all who would like to start their project in on the gambling industry. Yeah, and that's very easy because you just should have a domain, website, integrated software and games, and then you can go to some like white label provider and to integrate your solution there. By the way, we at SBSB also provide the license under white label, and some of our clients who would like to obtain the cheapest solution and to have a license and then to integrate payments, to integrate software, yeah, they can come to us, say to us their needs, and we can for sure consider their project to grant this by our white label. legal infrastructure. Yeah. And the third one is Costa Rica, for example. If some project is working like a crypto casino or blockchain casino, he can consider Costa Rica, which is a fully unlicensed solution without regulation, without local regulator. Additionally, we can provide this project by legal opinion, which will confirm that working internationally, Costa Rican company without a license do not break laws of Costa Rica. But this is for crypto projects which do not want to obtain accounts in some banks. Due to the strict rules of banks, they will not accept such projects.
Okay, thank you, Roman. And some questions from the audience. And the first one is, where is the main office of SBSB and how many years of experience do you have?
So at SBSB, we have more than 10 years experience, in particular working with gambling project. We know how industry was developing. Yeah, we know what trends were a few years ago, and we can predict what trends will be in few years furtherly. So where our offices are, generally we are international company. We have offices in the UK. We have offices in Estonia. We have our team working in different countries, also in Spain, in Lithuania, in Czech Republic. So if some even client from Europe would like to see us, to consult with us, not online but offline, he can do it without any problems coming to any of these countries.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Roman. And next question is, should software provider have any license?
So yeah, generally it's very optional thing because in gambling we have two types of licenses. B2C is for simple online casinos, betting platforms for those who would like to provide their games to end users, to players. And the second type of gambling project which you can integrate is B2B. Yeah, it's for example, game providers. It's for aggregators, software providers, platform providers. Why it's optional? Because generally to provide your games to offshore, let's say for international projects, you just need to have a certification on your software, on your games, and that will be the fact that your games that you are offering are fair. Yeah, but some big players to increase their reputation, for example, to open reputable bank accounts and to sign contracts with partners which require to have a license. For sure, they have an option to obtain the B2B license in some of the jurisdiction, in particular Curacao, Malta, Anjouan. They are offering the possibility to obtain their B2B license.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Roman. So let me introduce next speaker. Next speaker will be Justinas. He is from our partner bank, Genome. They are field specialized in gambling industry, so they onboard a lot of gambling projects in different jurisdictions, and they are working with different middle risk, high risk, and low risk projects. So they will observe your case on a case-by-case basis. So Justinas will talk more about the bank side view. So Justinas, the floor is yours.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Let me share the screen as well. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, everything's good.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, first of all, just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Justinas, and I'm an executive sales manager at Genome. And yeah, at Genome, we deal with payments and banking. We are an EMI with a Lithuanian EMI license. And yeah, one of our main touch points that we work on is iGaming. Hence, yeah, I'm going to speak more about payments and banking. And then, yeah, just in general, I want to say that it's a pleasure to see so many faces here. thank you SBSB for hosting such an event and inviting me as well. And just to give you some context, basically, Roman reached out to me maybe a month ago and invited me to participate. And as you can see, I accepted, yeah, but the initial thought that I had was how to make it interesting, how to make it applicable for people that are actually planning to open up a casino of their own. So just to give a quick overview, first of all, I'm going to quickly touch upon the relevance of iGaming and online payments. Then I'm going to skim through the legal landscape, technical considerations. Then I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into payments and banking, and then just quickly conclude everything. So just to give some context behind why is this topic relevant. So moving to the iGaming industry, it has been growing like crazy. So there are different metrics, there are different estimations on what it's going to be in the future. But still, some sources suggest that it's going to grow by 6% annual growth rate each year up until 2029. Others suggest 12% up until 2027. So yeah, I mean, it's an industry that's here to stay and here to grow. But I'm going to be more so talking about iGaming in Europe, because in last year alone, it grew by 23%. I mean, the revenue of the whole industry in Europe grew by more than 23%. So yeah, what were the main reasons? So first of all, it's advancements in technology, it's increase in internet usage, adoption of smartphones, so basically things that make it more accessible for people. Moreover, talking about iGaming industry worldwide, it's just increasing popularity in the emerging markets, because sports betting, especially there, is super prevalent. And then, yeah, in general, we have the secure payment methods, which have gotten way more secure, way more seamless, and it makes the players more likely to engage, and because just depositing money and getting it out is super easy. Then moving to online banking and payments in general, to quickly touch upon the growth of this sector. So it has been growing like crazy as well, mostly because of the convenience and security of everything. So for example, if we are talking about Europe, the adoption rates of digital banking on average are about 60%, but in some northern countries it's upwards of 100%. And to give some contrast between the continents, for example, if you're talking about United States, most Americans have used digital marketing in the previous year, and also it also coincides with the factor that just regular banking has been declining very much so in the United States as well. So coming back to online payments, so in general, digital payments are expected to grow by 10% on a year-to-year basis up until the year 2028. So, I mean, it's here to stay, and it just shows how important setting everything, including online banking and payments, is. Moreover, digital wallets accounted for over 50% of online purchases and are by far the most popular payment method worldwide. And they're expected to account for over 60% by 2027. And just to give some contrast between different payment methods and how quickly some of them are growing, we have this buy now, pay later payment option, which is expected to grow by 30% annually each year up until the year 2032. And when we're talking about crypto, we're still in the crypto boom with all the crypto Bitcoin ETFs and whatnot. So just in previous year alone, there's been an increase of 800% in cryptocurrency adoption. Coinbase grew its active user base by 50%, and Binance has quadrupled its overall user base. So crypto is also here to stay. And then, yeah, coming back to, tying it down to iGaming operators. Oh, wait. I was just informed, apologies, that slides are not moving. Can you see them moving now? Just the technical hiccup, but if the sharing doesn't work, I can
yes, it's working. It's working now.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Apologies. So yeah, I'm not going to do a slideshow. I'm just going to go through each slide individually. But basically, just to quickly recap everything and to tie it back down to iGaming, well, studies show that slow payment processing can actually lead to decrease in player activity. So make sure to set your payments right. So now that we got the basic context, let's move towards the legal landscape, because there are legal things to consider. And I'm not going to be touching upon everything there, just about the payment and banking implications. But yeah, there are mainly three different types of licenses that have main three implications, if you could call it that. So there are local licenses, such as, for example, German Netherlands license in Europe. Then you have multinational licenses that allow you to work in the whole Europe as well, but are less regulated, for example. So that would be MGA, Maltese license, and Estonian license as well. Then you have outside of Europe or offshore licenses such as Curacao and Anjouan. I mean, there are many different ones, and each different type of license has different implications. So just to quickly touch upon the implications. So there are different implications when it comes to anti-money laundering, KYC. So these two are the main ones. I'm going to focus on that. So when it comes to anti-money laundering, for example, if we take the Curacao license, you just have the basic regulations that you have to follow. Whereas, for example, with the KYC, yeah. So basically, when it comes to anti-money laundering, with Curacao, there are just the basic guidelines. If we go into these multinational licenses, such as Maltese ones, they are aligned with European directives. But if we go deeper into local licenses, such as German one, not only are they aligned with the European directives, they're also aligned with the national directives as well, which are even more in depth. If we go to know your customers, so also you can see the same trend starting from Curacao. There's just only basic identity verifications that must be done with national IDs. If we go to MGA or Germany, then they do thorough KYC checks. They verify things such as identity, age, address. In Germany, also sometimes must do video identification to prove you're a real person. And in general, it's a trend that continues throughout these transaction monitoring, ongoing compliance. Curacao is the most basic one. If you go to the European national ones, it gets into way more detail. So yeah, because this landscape is super important to navigate correctly, because if you don't comply correctly, you can get your license revoked, and the fines, I mean, starting from Curacao, they're not as high, but if you go to, for example, German licenses, they can get super high. So it's important to navigate correctly. So it's amazing to have people such as SBSB, which can help you to navigate through it. And then, yeah, if you take an offshore license, for example, it's quite also something that you should look into. Quite a widely accepted procedure to have a payment agent which manages payments for you. So just to quickly go through the technical considerations, once you more or less know what kind of license you want to stick to, you should also think of whether you want to do everything through a white label, through an iGaming platform, or just do everything yourself. So if you're doing everything through a white label, you're quite limited because you're limited to what the white label provider has. Which is also a benefit because they have quite a few solutions usually integrated. So apart from being limited in customization and being dependent on the provider, you're quite well covered with everything else. Then if we go into this middle ground solution between white label and do everything yourself, we have the iGaming platform. So the main benefit is that it's more flexible because you can not only choose from the providers that the iGaming platform has, but you can also integrate with some of the payment providers of your liking. You have more control, which leads to just better satisfaction of people because you can adhere to their needs better. And lastly, if we go to do-it-yourself casino, you just have full control, full customization. You can also benefit from direct relationships, which can get the fees lower for you, but it's a complex setup. I mean, you're responsible for everything yourself. It's way more expensive. It takes way more time. So just to quickly touch upon payments and banking in general, well, there are trends that you should be aware of if you're planning to enter the industry because it will help you choose the payment provider better. So first of all, we have, for example, SEPA Instant. Even though it's going to be mandatory for banks to have it, and from 2025, lots of iGaming operators actually open up their bank accounts in EMIs, such as ours. And for EMIs, the SEPA Instant only becomes mandatory from 2027. So if you're looking for a payment provider, make sure that he has SEPA Instant because it's gonna make everything way more convenient for your players. Moreover, there are many more changes. For example, of the transaction limit of 100,000 euros, which can affect your high lords, and we have PSD3, which is something that basically can affect the way that you process payments in the future because it might ask for some more documents from your players. And you have MiCA, which is going to be the crypto asset regulation. So it can impact the way that it will impact the casinos that are dealing with crypto because there will be new regulations to follow with crypto that they will have to follow. And then, yeah, just to lastly, very quickly go through the area trends because it's not only the trends in the industry, in finance and banking that's relevant. For example, different regions have very different likings as well. So such as, for example, the Baltic states, from which I'm from. We do payments through banking, and it's the most convenient for us to do payments through banking. But for example, our neighbor country, Poland, they do more than 2/3 of their overall transactions through BLIK, which is an alternative payment method. Then we have Portugal with credit and debit cards, Germany with their digital wallets. And Austria, for example, they're still stuck in maybe the 20th century, but they do everything through invoices. So just adhering to what's most popular in the region that you want to enter is going to make it the most convenient for your players and most seamless to deposit money and play in your casino. So just to quickly recap everything, just to conclude everything, first of all, it's important for you to understand the landscape. After that, you must choose a fitting license and you must understand its implications on payments and banking. Once you have that ready, decide on your technical involvement. So whether you want to do just a white label casino, whether you want to do everything through an iGaming platform, do it yourself. And just lastly, check for your payment providers, no matter where you go, whether they're covered in the payments and banking, because it's something that's super important to your players. So yeah, that's going to be it from my side. Once again, apologies for the slides not moving. Wasn't aware at the beginning. And yeah, I mean, all questions are welcome.
Thank you, Justinas, for your awesome speech. So if you don't mind, we can share with our audience your presentation. Yeah, then we can take a look deeply and review it one more time. So one more question from the audience is about your banking rules. What could you maybe a bit explain what is banking rules and what rules do you have for gaming operators in your company?
So can you just repeat the first part of the question? Banking rules, right?
Banking rules, yeah.
So I'm not quite sure what is specifically meant by banking rules, but I'm going to assume that the person is asking more about the risk appetite. Because, I mean, each individual EMI, even though, for example, in Lithuania, there is this hotspot of EMIs, right? We have, I don't know, 100, even more. And only some of them, such as ours, work with iGaming industry. So it really all depends on the initial risk appetite that you set. And I believe the question was about our own, like Genome's risk appetite. Is that correct?
Yes, I think yes, Justinas.
So just to comment more about the risk appetite, then, well, we've set it in such a way which allows us to work with operators that are licensed, if we're talking about Genome specifically. So yeah, we don't do, because there are quite many requests, and trust me, I'd love to work with even unlicensed operators, but sadly, in regulated markets, that's not possible. So just coming back to the initial question of our own risk appetite. So we do work with European licensed operators. We are quite extensive in the onboarding procedure because we must we need quite a few documents, perhaps maybe a little bit more than an average EMI would. But for example, what this allows us to do is allows us to be a reliable partner. For example, we've been working with iGaming for over 6 years now, which is a huge feat. We didn't get our license revoked once, and it wasn't ever close. So I'd say that when it comes to risk appetite, it's important to just align it with your board, with the management, and to see what your goals are. But to answer about Genome's risk appetite, it would be that we do work with iGaming, but we follow the regulations extensively still. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Justinas. And one more question from the audience is about what really should should the operator prepare when he's going to the bank. Actually, we know that banking, connecting the bank is not the first stage, but could you maybe tell more what should prepare the operator when he's coming to you? What should they have?
So basically, for the operators, well, first of all, with banks, it's a little bit harder to open the accounts. That's why lots of operators, they go to EMIs like ours, because we're a bit more lenient when it comes to opening the accounts. But just coming back to the initial question, it's fairly simple stuff. You just need the basic documents, such as, for example, proof of company registration, proof of shareholders, directorship, ownership, some agreements with your business partners, for example, if you have a European payment agent, so agreement between the casino and the payment agent. And then, yeah, the financial statement, proof of address, just the basic package. And once that is there, there might be some more, case-by-case dependent questions, such as, for example, some apostille documents from the relevant registries. But more or less, it's the basic package that you must have. Just cover the basic documents. And if there's gonna be need for some additional document, and I mean, you'll have 90% of what's needed. So to get the last 10% is gonna be quite easy. Yeah.
Thank you, Justinas. It was a pleasure to speak to you and pleasure hearing your speech. So let me introduce the next speaker is Arthur. He's from Calibrix, and he will talk more about payment part and for more about how to connect payments to their own website, how to accept payments, and what is the process. So, Arthur, please, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Ivan. I will take it from here. Speaking regarding myself, I have started working in a bank some years ago. Then I had experience working in Big Four. I was working in Ernst & Young, and then I have joined the Colibrix a couple of years ago. And basically, here today, I will speak about what issues you can face when starting an iGaming project. And I will cover those topics as who we are, what are the main problems of new project from the payments perspective, essential payment methods for a new iGaming project, additional payments methods trending, how we can help you to start your iGaming project. And basically starting that, so who we are. Colibrix is a payment service provider, an authorized electronic money institution based in UK. We are fully regulated by FCA, ensuring compliance with industry standards and providing a secure platform for your payment needs. From 2023, Colibrix works as an official principal, a member of MasterCard. Well, our history is taking back roots to the 2020 when we started our mission to transform the payments industry. We was a small team, and now we have evolved. Basically, the milestone here in December 23, we have achieved a significant milestone by becoming a MasterCard principal member. Moving on, what are the main problems new project is facing from the payments perspective? From our point of view, one of the main problems of all new iGaming startups is identify the markets, what they are planning to target, and solutions that they can offer to their players. So when you are targeting a market, you need to have solutions that customers are needing in this region. We share knowledge and our vision to help the customers to be 100% prepared for launch. So when you have identified the goals, the next step would be to share with the client specifics, solutions in this goal and pitfalls that they can face. So we do have certain expertise and products and services that we do offer. And we share our knowledge with the customer for both parties. So it would be a win-win cooperation. Moving on. Essential payment methods for new iGaming project. Here, I would like to stress out that every client identifies for himself primary and key products that they're going to launch, whether it be cards, APMs, or other solutions. The key point here, I would say that, is to have them stable and fully operational before the launch. And the goal here, I would say, is not the quantity, but quality. Moving on. As talking about the additional payment methods trending, we as a team are constantly learning and participating in all new major events around the world. And we're here to bring you the fresh ideas and solutions in hand. So we also do conduct dinners, parties, gatherings to ensure that we do exchange experiences with our clients and partners. And the goal is to be 100% transparent to the customer and our partner. How we can help you to start a gaming project? When you're starting an iGaming project from scratch, you can always come to us. And from the payments perspective, we're here to proceed with the strong solutions to ensure strong start of your journey. We can also give you opinion overview of your iGaming startup business plan. As talking regarding the services for clients and existing gaming operators, the key feature there, I would say, from our perspective, is that this business is very flexible and you have to think one step ahead, as you must be constantly looking for new solutions and trends on the market as you go. and not to miss out the opportunity, because if you're gonna miss out the opportunity there, your competitors will be one stand ahead of you like no time. So we are constantly in contact with our clients to highlight the trends and services on the market and not to miss that opportunity that we can see there. Basically, to summarize, I would say that whenever you're starting a casino, you should always be good with your payment service provider, and we also can help you there. So come, please, you can come to us, and we can help you with that, give you like a brief overview, what we think is good or not, and you can always reach to us. We could be 100% help to you. So basically, I believe I'm ready for the questions. Please, Ivan.
Thank you, Artur. Was a great speech. Thank you for participating with us. So we have a few questions from the audience, and the first one is how to choose the payment processor. Can you share some advices to the client, maybe some criteria, how to choose the right payment processor?
Thank you, Ivan, for this question. Yes, and you're true, there are a lot of payment service providers on the market. So from my point of view, the one you have to choose is simple. You can go to all the exhibitions, a lot of there. You can see that they are there, that there has been for several of years. That means that they are stable, they are fully operational, and they should also be authorized by AMIs, whether it is UK, Lithuania. So it should have a license there in order for them not to disappear when they are needed. And of course, you should have a closer look to them, that they are been in the market for several of years, and they have licenses there to satisfy your needs. And yeah, of course, please look at the services they do provide, and if they should be 100% transparent for you. I believe this is the key goal there.
Okay, Artur. One question also from the audience is about your company, and the guy is asking, in which currencies can transactions be processed in your company?
So basically, we do provide multi-currency processing. I can stress out it could be euros, GBPs, and other currencies that are needed for the customer.
Okay, perfect. And the last question is also from the public, is about India market. What payment methods are popular on India market?
Thank you for this question, Ivan, and audience for that. Unfortunately, it's difficult for us to give answer to that, as we're not operating in this market, and we actually are not able to provide the answer because honestly, I don't know. But thank you for that. If it could be interested, we will have a look and come later on with an answer. But at this point, I got no idea.
Thank you, Artur. It's maybe a good way to develop, because India is quite emerging market now, and also we have a lot of clients requests, so they are wanting only to operate in India. It's quite popular market now, so that's also insight for our audience. That's a great market to research. Okay, thank you, Artur. Thank you for a great speech. So we are now on the part of marketing. So let me introduce our next speaker, Theodore. He is from Chile Partners, and he will talk more about marketing issues and about marketing channels. And marketing is the most one of the most important stuff in opening a gambling project, because you can do everything right. You can have a great product. You can have a great license. You can have great payment solutions, but without marketing, it will be nothing, because you will not have any clients. Yeah. So Theodore, do you hear me?
Yes. Thank you for the introduction, Ivan. And well put. I like how you made the introduction and obviously the explanation about how important the marketing is. I would like to share my screen alongside my presentation, so it should be visible now. Yes. So obviously the advertising starts off obviously preferably with the affiliate marketing. So I want to summarize first off what is affiliate marketing. I'll try to keep it short, simple and concise by splitting it into three important roles. So the main and primary role is the merchant, which is the casino brand or the casino website, obviously. Then followed by the publisher, which is the provider of traffic. And then, of course, the customer. So what's the correlation between these three? It is important to emphasize that the affiliate marketing cannot work without the publisher, without the brand, and without the customer. So what happens is the merchant or the casino brand find publishers that have traffic or have customers, agree on a win-win deal. Obviously, they want to work on a long-term round because they both profit out of this collaboration. And then the final point or the ultimate goal to get profit is to deliver the customers from the publisher to the merchant or the brand. So this should be the main explanation behind the affiliate marketing, and this will then enable me to work on the other topics and explain further about how to get the customers or how to take care of the acquisition part of the business. Now, obviously, since we've all settled anything from the license, the payments, the games, all of these integrations, comes the marketing plan or how to get traffic. So it's really important to set up a plan. It's important to understand what kind of competitors we are up to first. So other than research, overall research about the industry and the brand, it's really important to see what competitors are doing. So with that said, we need to understand which geos we are going into. And then when we know which geos we are going into, let's say we are targeting Europe, we are targeting the European countries, we decide exactly which markets which we want to go after. So we need to do a bit of research, what kind of offers, what kind of payment methods, what kind of games the competitors are doing, in order for us to be able to comply with that as well, and in order for us to make the plan accordingly and to offer the same kind of promotions, games, and payment methods that our competitors are doing. So with that said, once we have everything in place, we figure out which kind of sources work for us best. So obviously we know we have anything from SEO sources, we have Google PPC, we have Facebook sources, app traffic, display banners, SMS, email, whatever works best for us. We try to decide which sources we are after first. And obviously, I would like to mention here that from my experience, the best type of sources that work for a good casino brand is PPC and SEO sites. Why? Because it's really simple. Whenever customers come through these sources, so both PPC and SEO, is because they're actually interested in playing some casino games. So unless they Google some kind of casinos to play on, they're not really interested to spend some money. Compared to other sources like Facebook, in-app traffic, display traffic, it's really a form of advertising where players usually spend some time to rest, or maybe they are bored. So oftentimes they're being bombarded with advertisements, and oftentimes they obviously click, they register, they play, but they're not as interested as the Google SEO and PPC players. That's why they also have higher value compared to the other sources. Now, last few points of setting up a plan is obviously the budgets. It's really important to set budgets in place, as otherwise we won't be able to run campaigns and pay to the partners. So it's really important to be able to know how much the budgets are. Otherwise, the scale and the growth will not be so easy to get. Obviously, the higher the budgets, the more the campaigns can be scaled, and the easier it is to launch more campaigns at once. So let's say we have a low budgets, which I have worked in companies before where they had budgets of a couple of €100,000, and it's quite challenging, let's say, to penetrate certain markets and to be able to launch certain sources, especially when it comes to PPC, because it has high costs. So you need to monitor it on a daily basis, more or less, and to make sure that the budgets are not being overrun, because at the end of the month, the company will struggle to pay to the partners. And of course, I've been part of certain companies where budgets were, let's just say, in millions. So it was much easier for an affiliate manager perspective to launch campaigns and to be able to monitor them easily and not worry about budgets being overrun, and then at the end of the month to pay to the partners. Last but not the least, obviously, from the plan is to set goals from a profit perspective. So it's very well known that certain geos and certain sources deliver different types of profit. So it can go anywhere from same month seeing the profit and up to maybe 6 months seeing the profit. So it's really important to understand and to know which geos and which sources deliver certain amount of profit and how long does it take to see that profit. So based on the geos and based on the sources, there need to be set certain profit and goals in place in order to achieve the actual profit. Now, moving forward, obviously there's a strategy. Now the company sets a certain goals along with the team. It can be split anywhere from certain KPIs by quartal, can be set by, obviously, by geo, goals by certain traffic sources, or it can even be goals by team members. Now, last but not the least, out of the strategy, obviously, it's really important to build a team of superstars that will help you achieve the goal. By that, I mean, I'll just make a small comparison. Obviously, from my experience and from my research in terms of, let's say, sports, one of the best known teams in history of the NBA is considered Chicago Bulls. Some of you may agree, may disagree, but it doesn't matter. My goal of this topic is to mention that Michael Jordan, as one of the best players of all time, was not able to achieve his championships all by himself. So he needed help from Scottie Pippen. He needed help from Steve Kerr. He needed help from the Worm or Dennis Rodman. So yeah, that's what I mean by building a team of superstars. So you need to build that kind of team that will work together, that will have teamwork, that will work day and night, and obviously work for the greater cause or greater goal to achieve those targets, whatever are being set in place. So I hope that that was a good analogy of comparing the Chicago Bulls team along with Michael Jordan, and to explain better what I mean by building a superstar team. Now, moving forward, of course, is the execution. The plan is set in place for reason to follow it. So if you do follow the plan, there's a really good percentage and achieving the plan. And also, it's not only setting the plan in place, it's also having frequent and weekly follow-ups to check the progress. So if there was something set and agreed to achieve this week, it's really important next week to follow up and understand what was achieved, what was a showstopper, what we left behind, what we are lacking, what's a challenge, in order to be able to get different types of plans, talk with the team, set new plans in place, understand what were the challenges, and then, of course, go on and execute them further in order to achieve the goals, obviously. Along with the follow-ups, there are the KPI updates, which, of course, again, it's really important. If there were certain KPIs or goals that were set in place, it's really important to follow these KPIs and understand what went well and what we need to achieve for the next KPIs to be updated. Last but not the least, obviously, there's a strategic session, which is really important to, after 1 or 2 quarters of performance, to be able to review it and understand what was good, what was bad, how far or close we are from achieving the goals, or how much we overachieve the goals. And then, of course, to agree on the next steps for the further growth. So whatever was achieved or whatever was lacking, to be able to discuss it, to make better plans, how to overachieve it next time, or to make better plans of how to achieve it actually in the next 1 or 2 quarters. So that's it on my end. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. If there are any questions, I would be happy to answer.
Theodore, thank you for your insights. Thank you for your great speech. So there are some questions from the audience, and the first one is, how can you effectively advertise your product in regulated markets like Germany and the UK without having a local license?
I really like the topic. It's obviously it's quite sensitive topic. Obviously, regulations are there in place for a reason, but of course there are some ways to, let's say, dodge certain regulations. Obviously, there are black hat advertising companies, anything from SEO to PPC, Facebook, whatever is out there, app traffic, email, display. So if obviously you have a really good team in place, you will be able to find good partnerships and advertising companies that will help you achieve this. So with that said, it's all down to how good of relationships you have with the partners, or how good of a manager you are in order to find these kind of sources. That would be the most diplomatic answer.
Thank you, Theodore, for your diplomatic answer. And the next question is about Telegram. What do you think about Telegram as marketing channel, and how to utilize it in the best possible way?
Oh, Telegram. I really like Telegram, to be honest. I haven't used it a lot, but I've been heavily using it over the past 2 years or so. So there are certain ways of utilizing Telegram as a channel. So from what I'm aware of is there are Telegram channels or groups that are being formulated, and it can serve as a sub-channel for, let's say, different other channels. Like it can be for YouTube, it can be for Kick, for Twitch, for Twitter. So any kind of other sources that they are obviously streamers, influencers, they use Telegram as one of their main channels to relocate their traffic. So let's say I have a Twitch channel. So my channel is called, let's say, Theodore, and I'm streaming casinos. Because I'm not able to stream, and actually because I'm not able to send directly links on Twitch, I use Telegram chat as my source to relocate players from Twitch to Telegram and then post links on Telegram. So this is one way. There's also another type of utilizing the Telegram channels, which is they have Telegram groups. And these people that have Telegram groups usually are some kind of tipsters. So they give some kind of advice to the players, and they go bet on certain matches, games, etc. And they go on, obviously, win or lose depending on the prediction of these moderators. So those are the two types of how to utilize the Telegram channels from what I'm aware of.
Thank you, Theodore. Thank you, Theodore. So we have also a question from the audience, and it's quite interesting. What are some cool examples of discovering not so obvious channels in different geos? Maybe you have any exotic fun cases of some obvious, not obvious channels.
I like these questions. I really like them. Okay, so I have a few other examples. So one of other different or exotic channels, as you said, would be so obviously SMS, email, which is a bit hard to find. Usually they are very low key. They take care of their database, and they watch and are very careful with picking which casinos to promote, because obviously when you have such kind of database, you don't want to bombard your players constantly with weak offers. So you want to find a good casino that offers good welcome bonuses and has a good CRM plan in order to maintain those players and to treat them well. So that's one of the things. Another topic that I can add to different or exotic channels would be, it can be adult traffic. So it's not a common use traffic. It's not something that is widespread or is something that is being encouraged due to its nature. Obviously, it's quite a sensitive topic, and it's not something that everyone is brave enough to use. I haven't used it, to be honest, so far, but I am aware that adult traffic can be used as a source to deliver casino players to the casino brand.
Okay. Thank you, Theodore. So now we have just questions from the audience that we haven't answered yet, and I will ask some questions, and to just maybe turn on your microphone and video camera, and just tell if you can answer it. So the first question is about the budget. How much money need to start the basic casino in European Union, including everything like marketing, license, and soft? It's interesting question because not offshore license and not offshore geos, not like Africa or India or something. So it's Europe. And if we're talking about Europe, marketing, license, software, what is the price? Guys, please help me to answer this question. Maybe Alessia can start, and then we can continue discuss.
Thank you for passing the word to me. It's always hard to speak about the price, to be honest, it's always a tricky question, but I would say that it depends. Once again, if we are going to speak about white label, so where we don't need to obtain the license, in where everything is already provided on the side of the platform provider, and then I guess we can start with some very basic features without any customization, right? I guess you can find a price starting with 15,000 euro, and then obviously the limit is hard to say, because once we're going to speak about customization and all the details, all the extra features and so on, then it can cost like a really considerable amount of money. And of course, the licensing if you're going to do it by yourself.
Thank you, Alessia. And Roman, please tell more about licensing and how much does it cost?
So yeah, regarding cost for license, it's also very interesting questions, because it fully depends on jurisdictions or on plans. When some country can have one license for all verticals, for example, you can obtain one license and provide casino games, bookmaking, betting, poker, and so on. Some countries have regulated each type of activity by a separate license, like in Malta, for for example, there are 4 types of licenses which regulate the separate like gambling vertical. Yeah. If we are talking regarding the cheapest one, so it's white label, I think, for now. When we're talking regarding license, cheapest solution, it depends on your partner. So, for example, it can be both 10,000 euros, it can be 20,000 euros, 30,000 euros. It depends on those pricing policy which your white label partner have provided to you. Regarding the license, generally, when we consider the fact that we should build the full project, not only licensing. Before the license, you should have a software for sure. Yeah, you should have a company, all documents comply with the rules of the particular regulator. So it starts from 40,000 euros. In offshore countries, for example, in Anjouan, Otobik, yeah, and when we consider local licenses, so it's pretty more expensive and pretty more harder to obtain. For example, we have great experience working with Estonian license. Budget for both incorporation of a company, collecting of documents, and licensing starts from 18,000 euros. In some countries, it even expensive, yeah, because Estonia is the cheapest one in Europe for now.
Thank you, Roman. Theodor, maybe can you tell more about concerning marketing, because it's also a big part of the budget.
Sure. I've been thinking about, in the meantime, about the answer that I'm about to give, and it's a really tricky question, but I'll try to keep it short and simple. So it can vary depending on how big you plan to go. But I've seen companies being able to go in the market with, let's say, around 100K budgets, or even between 100 and 250K. And it's sustainable. It is not as big as, let's say, other companies that invest millions of euros in their monthly budgets, but they need to mostly rely on in-house campaigns, the ones with the smaller budget. So let's say at the minimum 150K per month is possible, but need to be really monitored, and most of the campaigns need to be in-house. Anything from PPC, Facebook, Instagram, etc.
Thank you, Theodor. That's very interesting, because the marketing part is the highest in the game development. So as Alessia told and Roman told, the marketing is crucial, and it's the most expensive. Yeah. So one question also from the audience. Julius asked us to talk more about the situation with Curacao license for now. And what is happening, and what will be the future of Curacao. So Roman, could you tell more about Curacao issues for now?
So yeah, it's a very interesting question, because it starts from the COVID-19 times, when it was like in actual, yeah. Curacao, as native land of Netherlands, was debted by the Netherlands on the particular amount to beat the coronavirus. Yeah, and after that, they should revert this debt. But as Curacao is small land, they need money. They were given by Netherlands by few options. The first one is to revert the debt in full amount with percents for sure, and the second one is to beat with their gambling regulation, which is very problematic, because a lot of operators they tried to target local markets, and for a lot of regulators from EU countries especially, they didn't like that. That's why their regulation by master license holders, which was actual during more than 20 years, is now in the process of changing. Yeah, and Curacao Ministry of Finance, they are aimed to change, fully change the regulation, make it more stricter, make it even more simpler to MGA, to Maltese regulation, where you should have local employees in the structure, where you should have a local office, physical office, where you should obtain a license, which cost is not 10,000 euros, but more than 70,000 euros even. Yeah, that's why for those hub which was formed in Curacao, it is very difficult. And we for now see trend when a lot of projects are moving to another jurisdictions, like for example Kahnawake, Anjouan, to find those solution which was actual in Curacao a few years ago. Yeah, it's simplicity, it's cost effectiveness, it's great options regarding payments, software, and so on. That's why we are living in the time when we historically see how Curacao are changing the legislation in more stricter way.
Thank you, Roman. Also, one question for you. It's about license and about the kinds of license. What license is the fastest and easiest to get, and what is the average duration of the license?
Really, everything it depends on the client, because the speed of application process, it depends on documents which should be provided to the regulator. Yeah, from the software part, it's agreement with software provider, or when, for example, operator have chosen the way to develop their own games and software, they should provide a random number generator certification to prove the fairness of their games. Yeah, that they as operator can't influence on the results and so on. Personal documents for some jurisdictions also to prove their source of funds, source of wealth, etc. But what we see, the fastest license for now is for sure Anjouan. We even had experience when we have obtained this type of license, both with company incorporation for 1 month. It's a phenomenon, because not every jurisdiction on our practice hasn't such short terms when the project have obtained a fully legal license, which gave them a right to conduct gambling operations. Yeah, and for sure the fastest one also are the unlicensed solutions. When you are operating, as I mentioned, as crypto casino, you can only incorporate a company somewhere in Costa Rica, or we have a great solution in Australia, when you can provide your services internationally, not in these countries, yeah, like in Costa Rica and Australia. And in such a case, you do not need a license, and you can even obtain an illegal opinion which will prove this fact. Yeah, so the cost of these solutions along with legal opinion is preliminary 10,000 euros, but you will be limited only by crypto.
Thank you, Roman. Also, one interesting topic from the public is about KYC AML procedures. It is like very known that it's quite a struggle for ordinary people just to pass all compliance procedure, to get verification, to upload passports, proof of address, and sometimes it can be even proof of funds. It's always the matter of trust to the company to who you provide these documents, and that's always the time of the user they don't want to do, and it's also concerns marketing stuff, because it could decrease conversion rate. Yeah, when the operator attract clients, they just don't want to pass these KYC AML procedures, and the operator can lose them. So what is your opinion in this regard? Maybe Artur, Justinas, can you share your thoughts?
Thank you, Alan. Well, basically, I would say that, of course, this question is not directly to us, but I'm going to share my thoughts on that. I would say that now, as the world is evolving, and if you want to get some services, for example, and if, for example, you go to the bank and you want to open account for you or corporate account, of course you have to share this information to them. Well, if we go to the casinos, if this casino is also licensed, so you don't have to be very dodgy about that. So you should understand that the service provider is asking for this information for their QICML policies, and it is very well known in Europe right now, especially there, because if you want to, as I mentioned before, open bank, you need a copy of your passport, you need income source, etc. So everyone need to have these documents in hand, and once you go there, and if you're trustworthy with your partner, with a business that you want to send the document in, please feel free, and you will be 100% sure that they know who you are. And it is like also, I would say, from the one point, yes, someone may lose the client or the customer, but on the other hand, it's like a business working closely and building a relationship. This is my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Arthur.
Yeah, and just to quickly add on what Arthur has said, so just for example, with operators themselves, right? For example, if certain operators, I mean, there's always the option to not be fully compliant with regulations, but I mean, it comes at a cost. You can get your license revoked. If you go to payment providers, for example, that ask for less documents, I mean, you can find those, of course, but they're not going to be as sustainable, which, for example, in the short term, yeah, you might not need to provide as much, but maybe after a year, you're going to lose them because they're going to get their license revoked. So you're not going to be able to process payments in general, like at all. So I'd say that it's always just evaluating what's the right fit for you, and yeah, just following the regulations that are relevant if possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I love your idea, Justinas, because it's always a matter of risks. It's always a matter of risk and operator and about opportunities. It's also bank risks, about operator risks, and the matter is if you take it or not. So that's it. Theodore, do you want to add something?
Not really on my end. I agree about the risk part. Obviously, you cannot get something big if you don't risk it. Obviously, there are certain steps and measures that you need to take, that you need to have courage to take as well. So again, it's all coming down to do the plans, to the team. There needs to be certain knowledge in the team that you're working with whenever you're starting a project. I would like to go back to my analogy of the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. So if he wanted to win championships, he couldn't have new teammates that were learning how to dunk, how to pass the ball, how to shoot 3 points. So he needed experts. He needed well-experienced team members in order to win those championships. So if I now start a company and train people from the beginning, I will struggle and I will need time to get to the point where I want to be. But if I hire a team of experts, team of well-experienced people that have already connections, have already a lot of partners that know the industry, I will be handling things much more easier. Maybe those people need to get paid more, obviously salary, etc. But you will be rest assured that they will help you achieve those goals quicker.
Thank you, Theodore. Thank you for awesome thoughts. So the last question from the audience is about legal. I think it's for Roman. It's about difference with choosing B2B and B2C license. Roman, can you share your thoughts about it?
Yeah, sure. It's a very simple question. So B2C and B2B, what is the difference between these types of licenses? So B2C is mainly for operators who would like to provide their services to end users, to players, for example, great Like examples are Favbet, yeah, or 1xBet, or let's say VBet, and some other casinos which just provide casino games, bookmaking for end users, for players which would like to make a bet on something. And B2B, it's like it's optional license. It's optional license for those which are providing services to B2C casinos. Yeah, for example, if someone would like to integrate software, he should go to B2B critical supplier. They are not operators, but they are critical suppliers. It's like interpretation of some regulators, like in Malta, and they should obtain the software from them. Some reputable jurisdictions like Malta, they require for all B2C casinos to integrate games only from B2B providers which are licensed in Malta. Yeah, for offshore jurisdictions like Anjouan, Curacao, it is not like required. That is why it's optional whether to use software of licensed B2B provider or by unlicensed, but for sure it's very important thing with games which are certified by specialized iGaming laboratories like Quinel, GLI, iTech Labs, yeah, to prove the fairness of games. So B2B is for aggregators, software providers, game developers, but it is optional.
Thank you, Roman. And could you tell also about jurisdiction, about B2C and B2B? Are they different?
They are preliminarily the same. For example, in Curacao, you can obtain a B2C license, yeah, and you can obtain a B2C accreditation. In Malta, the same thing. You can obtain B2C and B2B license. The difference is in requirements. For example, when we're talking regarding Curacao, yeah, in Curacao, it was actual rule that you should obtain a B2C license only on the local company. Regarding B2B, you can obtain accreditation only on Cyprus company, on Maltese company. Yeah, it's your call where to choose to incorporate the company. So, and for sure, you should like build your website on your business model of B2C provider or B2B. Yeah. So, but generally the same jurisdiction both for B2C and for B2B. Those countries which are offering to be licensed as B2C also as a rule are offering the option to be licensed as B2B. So, but it is not like saying that if you are licensed as B2C, you cannot build your B2B business. For sure, you can be like great holding which have B2B part, software developing, platform developing, yeah, and B2C part when you are operating like under several brands to provide your casino games for end users.
Okay, thank you, Roman. As promised, it was the last question. So for now, it's a few words just to finalize our webinar. Unfortunately, it's coming to the end, but it was very pleasure to meet with you guys and to listen our speakers. Thank you everyone for awesome speech, for awesome insights. I think the audience liked it, as I saw in the feedback. So we talked a lot about opening a gambling business, and I hope that everyone now knows at least some points how to get the ball rolling. Yeah, and for now. For now, I want to share some thoughts, some organizational issues, because we will share after the webinar our presentations of speaker. So that's on our part. We'll share all our participants also an additional like not present, but something that will be very useful. It will be material how to start the gambling business, to summarize a bit the topic what we discussed today. And also, as also our speakers, as Theodore told and Arthur told, that they will be participating in IGB. That will be nice to meeting with you guys, because I will be also on IGB, and SBSB FinTech lawyers also will be nice to meet you in IGB, and you can ask me or our speakers to meet with them, to contact with them. It's of course you are welcome. And also we will be, it's the biggest, the Arthur told that it's very useful to look at agenda of some good and high quality exhibition, of gambling exhibition. And so we, as SBSB FinTech lawyers, we also will have a booth in a Sigma conference. I hope that all speakers will also be there. So will be nice to meet you guys, or IGB or CBS Summit or Sigma. It's a great gambling conference, and we are certainly will be there. So just contact us, and it's always good to meet online, but it's always better to make face-to-face and have a good conversation. So thank you for having you, and thank you speakers for such a great speech, and it was a nice time full of insights, and for me I had a great time.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you for the invite, and thank you for the good webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation.